Welcome back, everyone. Movie guy Will Meyer joining us now, telling us what to see, skip, and rent this week. Not a big week at the box office, but we still got some things to talk about. And this one, a lot of people around here might like. It's a biopic about Hank Williams.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're like me, I grew up listening to Hank Williams, have a lot of respect for this great musician. Yeah, this is a movie that tells the life story of country western singer Hank Williams, you know, who in his short life created one of the greatest bodies of work in American music. This movie chronicles his rise to fame and its tragic effects on both his health and personal life. Yeah, this is a movie I was really excited for, and this movie, you know, does acknowledge that he is a great musician, but unfortunately this movie doesn't show us that he's a great musician. I think that's the biggest failure of the movie, is that he really just comes across like an ordinary Joe in this film, and you really don't understand why he was such a genius. A couple of the people that I saw this movie with who said they weren't that familiar with his work, they knew that he was important, though after the movie they still really didn't have a sense of why he was so important. I think that's the movie's, you know, biggest failure, is you don't really understand you know, what sets him apart, you know, what he was doing that was different at the time, and why he remains so influential today. I didn't think the movie was a total disaster. I thought Tom Hiddleston did a really good job. He's a British actor who you've seen in The Avengers, but he really put his heart and soul into this movie. He learned to walk, talk, and act just like Hank, as well as play the guitar and sing. I thought the best scenes in the movie were the ones where we just sat back and listened to him play one of Hank's songs from start to finish. But other than that, not so hot. I thought the supporting characters were sort of one-dimensional. The story really drags. This is a 2-hour movie that feels like 4 hours. So Tom Hiddleston was good. The rest, not so hot. So I was pretty disappointed, and I think most other people will be too.
All right, we got to quickly get through the last two. Krisha.
Okay. Krisha, yeah, this is an independent movie that's getting rave reviews across the nation and won a bunch of awards at South by Southwest. It's about a woman who comes home for Thanksgiving dinner 10 years after she's seen her family, but past demons threaten to ruin the festivities. This is a really dark, depressing, bleak movie, but it's also funny at times. It hits a lot of different notes. It's an accomplished effort for this young filmmaker. You saw him right there a second ago. He filmed this movie in his mom's house for under $100,000. That's actually his aunt who plays Krisha. It's a very personal film for him. He hasn't said what's real and what's not, but it's clear that he's working out some demons here, and this is sort of a therapy session for him. But yeah, this is a really accomplished, original piece of work. I haven't seen anything like it. I was really impressed by it, even though thoroughly depressed after watching this movie. So you have to be an adventurous goer to watch this film, but very impressive. Definitely see it.
All right, and we have to talk about the big sequel, Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah, Big Fat Greek Wedding 2. Yeah, 14 years after the first one, the charming, delightful portrait of a dysfunctional family. You know, Nia Vardalos, the writer and star of it, she had 14 years to write this film, and while I doubt that I am, you know, nearly as good of a screenwriter as she is, this movie, it's shocking how little ideas are on display here. There's really no story. Instead, she does sort of what those ensemble romantic comedies like Valentine's Day does. She just gives every character their own little story, and none of them are compelling or dramatic in the slightest. It's a movie that I think that even if you're a hardcore fan, you're going to be disappointed. My mom watches Hallmark movies, and even she thought this movie was slight. The comedy made me cringe. Yeah, I really thought this was a big disappointment.
All right, Will Meyer, thank you so very much for your insight.